Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, My So-Called Healthy Life. Okay, I got a comment on my video yesterday, and it was kind of talking about the Dream Life Project, and I want you guys to know, any comment that I ever get on any of my videos that is positive but critical, I always really listen to. I mean, I think that for any of us, if we remain teachable and we listen to what other people tell us, we continue to grow. It's when we are not willing to listen to what other people tell us that we stop growing. And somebody commented and said, you promised you were going to do this Dream Life Project through the end of the month, and I hope you hold to that. And it's interesting that I got this comment. And I think, that a lot of times my immediate response was right? But it's interesting, and this is somebody that I know watches my videos, and she said she had been doing the Dream Life Project and she had gotten a little bit behind. And thank you so much for this comment, by the way, because it kind of got me back on track a little bit. And what had happened was, I had planned this Dream Life Project out for this whole month, but I knew what I wanted to do today going into tomorrow for the Dream Life Project. But the last couple days, I was kind of I don't really know what to do next. I'm being completely honest, right? To do 30 days of a workshop in a row is kind of hard to come up with assignments over and over and over again. And I know what I want to do next week to end it, but I didn't really know what to do with these days leading up to it. And so I kind of did fillers and thought, I'll see if they really notice that I kind of took a day off from the Dream Life Project. So anyway, this assignment today is something that anybody can do, and I think it's completely vital, or I think it's a profound assignment. I have done it in my life, and it really made me look at the world in a completely different way. And but it is also about building a foundation for our future, because like I've said, you cannot achieve your dreams if you don't respect the past and you don't have a strong foundation going forward. Does that make sense? And what I say this a lot with clients that I used to work with back in the day is that if you're building a house, you're gonna put the cement down first. You're gonna put the wood up and all that. The foundation. What's that called? I can't think. But anyway, I'm not a construction worker. But anyway, I'm not a builder. I'm not a contractor. I don't know what's that called. The frame. You're gonna put the frame up first and all that kind of stuff. And the nails. And you're gonna make sure that the house is gonna stand strong, right? And then you're gonna put on the brick or the wood on the outside to make sure you're not gonna think about the curtains and the paint color and all that kind of stuff until you're done. I mean, you might think about it, and that's kind of the dream life down the road, but you're not going to start working on that until you have a strong foundation. And for me, a strong foundation for the future is having gratitude for our past. And one of the things that I love doing is gratitude lists. Ever since I got sober, I've kept gratitude lists. And in fact, my first year sober, my sponsor had me keep a list of things that I was grateful for that I would lose if I continued to use drugs and alcohol. And he said, I want you to keep this in your pocket every day. And any time that you think about using or doing some kind of, behavior that's going to be problematic to your life, I want you to take that list out and read through it. And I cannot tell you that it saved my life, how much it saved my life on so many levels. So I now do this assignment with people, typically in team building things with businesses and whatever, and I have them look at the whole business, right? And since the time that they came in to the time that they're working there now, because I think a lot of times when we work in businesses or wherever we work, we become bitchers and complainers. It's we sit around the coffee pot and we complain about how bad it is, but we never look at the good things that happen to us either, right? And likewise with our lives is we look back and we say, oh, my mom died 10 years ago. My parents were divorced. I was bullied when I was in high school. I got sober when I was 22. I've had a great life since then. But before that, it was a lot of hardship, all this kind of stuff. But I don't look at all of the wonderful things. Now, I try to, okay? Since I do this on a regular basis, I make gratitude lists probably once a week. And since we've been doing the Dream Life Project, I've been keeping a gratitude list every day. But what I want you to do is I want you to get a whole new notebook or 10 sheets of paper or whatever, and I want you to start writing all of the things that you're grateful for in your life, okay? And let me give you a starter, your birth. All of us should be grateful for our birth, because life, whether you believe this or not at times, no matter how deep down you get, no matter how sad, no matter how depressed you are in life, no matter whatever kind of clinical mental health issues you have, all of us have had one moment that was worth living for, and life is a gift. I truly believe that. And I think for all of us to start there and go to now and just write down all of the things. You know, for me, it could be all of my dogs that I've had, the different relationships, no matter how they've ended, the separate trips. I could list down 50 trips that I've taken, you know? Or, you know, this one slot win that I had one time where I hit a progressive, or this really good tomato soup that I had when I was growing up, you know, or this chicken salad that my stepmom used to make that I still love to this day. You know, to everything, to PP, you know, having good health for the next couple years, to, you know, and finding out good, positive health about him, you know, to my YouTube channels, to my book, to my husband, to my mother, and being able to be present with her when she passed. And it starts giving you another attitude towards life. And it starts forcing you to have a positive attitude towards living. And I think going into a day like Thanksgiving, where I don't want to get into the history of it. Let's just look at Thanksgiving and, you know, being around people that hopefully mean something to us. And if we're alone, taking the time to reflect on what means something to us in this world, you know, I think it's a perfect opportunity to sit down with some gratitude, take a half an hour, take 20 minutes, and just stream of consciousness, just write down all of the things you're grateful for in your world. You know, and it's okay to put down my Louis Vuitton purse. It's okay to put down my diamond earrings. It's okay to put down, you know, my new Jeffree Star holiday collection makeup. That's okay. That's fine. I'm grateful for those things too. You think I'm not? You know, I went in my closet yesterday and I found that I bought these like 10 years ago. It's funny because I put a picture of them on my Instagram, and this kid that I've known since he was a teenager, he commented on it and he goes, "You had those 14 years ago." And it's a true story. But I found these old Birkenstocks in my closet. I was like, oh my God, what happened to those? I'm grateful for these shoes because I found them. I'm grateful that I have shoes. There's a lot of people in the world that don't have shoes. I'm grateful that I have shoes and clothes to wear when it's cold outside. And so it starts making us look at the world in a different way, and it starts making us very grateful for even the very basic, simple luxuries that are luxuries to most of us, because a lot of people don't have them. And it gives us a completely different view of the world, and it makes us thankful for where we're at today, no matter what the hardships we've had, and it makes us grateful for turning our wounds into wisdom, and then it allows us to have this clear perspective for our dreams in the future. And that's what I want. I want a clear pathway so I can see it coming, and I can see behind me, and I can say, see, all of this lined up, it was all for a reason. And if these things hadn't happened, then you know what, and all that kind of stuff. And it's interesting, I used to really be obsessed with nice cars, okay? I used to always have to have a nice car. The last 2 nice cars I had were very troublesome to me. I would get them to a certain mile marker and then they started falling apart. And I remember I had a conversation with my dad, and he said, expensive cars are expensive repairs. And he goes, that's kind of what goes along with it. And I was like, yeah, I know, but it's so nice to like drive a nice car. And I really had to take a look at that. Like, why is it important for me to have a nice car? Is it because of what I think people, the perception they have of me when I'm driving it? Is it how I feel when I'm in it or whatever? And the last time that I went to the car lot, I knew I was looking in a certain price zone. And I saw this fully loaded Jeep, okay, that had a car starter and all this kind of stuff. It was gorgeous, Jeep Wranglers, and that's kind of my dream car right now. And, you know, 4 doors, top came off. It was gorgeous, right? And it was like, let's say 10,000 outside of my price zone, and probably 50,000 more miles than the rest of the cars I was looking at. But I was like, I can do it, right? And then there was a Land Rover, and I love Land Rovers, and it was like at 100,000 miles, and it was way price range out of my thing, and it didn't have any of the bells and whistles. And then there was a Ford Escape from the year before that had 12,000 miles on it, a sunroof, and low gas mileage, good gas mileage. And I called my dad and I said, what do you think? He goes, that is a no-brainer to me. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, you need to get the Ford Escape. He's like, it's cheaper. He's like, Fords are great cars. He was like, you know, the gas mileage is great on that car. He goes, it'll last you forever. He goes, why do you need to? And I have been driving that car, and I am so grateful for it. The car has been so great to me. I love this car, you know? And it's like, I realize now I don't need to have this wonderful, amazing luxury. I don't need that. I don't need it anymore, right? And so I look in the past now and I think I'm grateful for those learning experiences. And so it gives us a different perspective. And isn't that what life is all about? Learning, growing, and having a different perspective about things. So please do that. Do it tonight, especially with some people in your life. So before you go into Thanksgiving tomorrow, whoever you're around, you leave the problems at the door, you leave the troubles and all of that at the door, and you just go into Thanksgiving tomorrow with a smile on your face, patience in your heart, pause whenever you're having a moment that you think you're going to strangle somebody, and have a wonderful day. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.